I was surprised your presentation was. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the town board meeting of January 11th, 2018, beginning at 8:42. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Supervisor Durr?
Here.
Supervisor Fisher?
Here.
Chairman Merrick?
Here.
Supervisor Radke?
I'm here.
Supervisor Wolf?
Here.
And Madam Clerk, have we met the opens meeting law?
Yes, we have.
And we can move on to citizens' comments. One at a time, please. Going once, going twice, and we'll move on. Recommendations from the Plan Commission, discussion and possible action on A, accessory structure. The petitioner was Jeffrey Arndt, South 52, West 25100 Sage Court. Tax key is WAKT 1308011. Recommendation from the Town Plan Commission was for approval. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve it.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. On to B, accessory structure for Bruce Ralph. The location is West 243, South 6150 Elder Air Drive. The tax key is WAKT 1432009. The recommendation from the Plan Commission was for approval. Is there a motion?
I'll move to accept the recommendation for approval from the Town Plan Commission.
And a second.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to C. Rezone for the petitioner Clint Albert. The location is South 29 West 27340 Green Lane. Tax key is WAKT 1324990. Recommendation from the Plan Commission was for denial. Is there a motion?
I'll make a recommendation to accept the rezone. Or I should say, perhaps to approve the rezone.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion.
My thoughts on this are that in our long-term plan, this is to be a business. And frankly, it's consistent with other properties in that immediate area. The two immediate adjacent are already zoned business. It's debatable whether business is occurring immediately to the east, but certainly second and third removed to the east has very, very active business going on in it. The concerns about water management, the driveway, and those type of issues, I think can be addressed in the site plan of operation. I did have concern about this rezone and how it related to the fact that the petitioner is currently out of compliance. And I didn't feel that we should be in a position as a town to assist with a rezone, given the fact that the petitioner is out of compliance. However, I give more weight to the fact that it is the town's long-term plan to have this zoned as business. And the fact that the adjacent properties are business, to me, outweighs my concern about it being out of compliance. And then finally, the fact that the actual rezone will be contingent upon the other issues that need to be addressed on the property, I feel that it is appropriate at this time to move forward with the B3, given that for quite some time, that has been the town's intention for this property.
Thank you. Other comments? Seeing none, we've got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Opposed. Motion does not carry. Is,
Could we just ask, I see the clerk was looking up, do you know how everybody voted on that? Are you sure?
Was it 1-4?
No, two.
oh, my apologies.
Could you announce the vote, please?
So the vote was 2-3 with Supervisor Fisher, Supervisor Radke, and Chairman Merrick voting against.
Is there another motion regarding agenda item C? Seeing none, we can move on and council again.
Well, I'd prefer if we had a motion that we're not going to approve it, otherwise the court wouldn't know what your action was. If it was an action not to approve it, that's fine, that's clear, but generally the court looks for, we can leave it at that if you want. We prefer to have a motion to deny and the reasons, because that's what's a culture.
I will move to deny.
For the
And a
same
second.
reasons that you gave at the planning commission.
Yes, sir.
And a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Did you get it?
Yes.
Thank you. Counselor, on D, then do we need to take any action on that? And we can move on. All right, on to E, site plan of operation for Ryan Timms, West 246, South 2344, Industrial Lane, Unit B, tax keys WAKT 13549650001. This is the recommendation from the Plan Commission was for approval. Is there a motion?
I move we accept the recommendation of Planning Commission.
And a second.
I'll second.
Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. There will be a few less rodents in the world. Thank you. On to F. Petitioner Sean Smith. The owner Six Diamond LLC, Sticks Academy Sports and Training. Location is W240 South 5225 Kunze Lane, Unit 3. Tax keys WAKT 14019970009. The recommendation from the Plan Commission was for table. Is there a motion?
I'll recommend that we table this until a date uncertain.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Question?
Can't after a motion to table.
Hmm?
Can't after a motion to table.
Oh,
All in favor? Opposed?
aye.
Motion carries. On to G, the site plan of operation. Petitioner Sean Smith, owners Kunze Properties LLC, John E. Kunze. Business is Sticks Academy and Sports Training. Location is W240 South 5225 Kunze Lane, Unit 2, WAKT 14019er7008. Recommendation from the Plan Commission was for table. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to give, I don't know whether Supervisor Wolf would like to talk, but before anybody makes a motion, I just ask if we extend the courtesy to him if he wanted to speak. And maybe it was only on the other issue.
I don't take any issue with that. I just want to make sure with council that's allowable, assuming he's speaking on the previous issue that was tabled.
No, that was not. That
No,
was not my
it can cover
suggestion.
this issue too, if I can talk on this
Absolutely.
one.
Please do.
Is it allowed at this time to change that to a specific date instead of table to uncertain?
Well, the appropriate thing probably would have been to.
No, I mean for this one, the other one's gone.
Oh, Yes. Motion to amend the motion to change a specific date. But I do want to share one thought with you. When you table these, you could only table them for a reasonable time. The law would require me to, they have an application, you haven't acted on their application. We have to act on their application within a reasonable time. You can't just let it sit there forever.
Okay,
I
so
mean, I
is
would
there
just
a-
tell you that they didn't come back the last time, but and I probably should have brought it up even when they didn't on the warehouse. But on the warehouse, as I recall, but our planner fortunately went back and listened to the tape. They were directed to go and do some homework and come back and let us know what the building was, and they just took their time to do it. So we put the onus on them, I believe, under the discussion on the warehouse the last time, the pet warehouse. On these two, you're just tabling them. You're not giving any reason. You're not. So I would be reminding the planner we have to bring it back within a certain time.
My only comment to that would be, is I even somewhat question whether at least this one should be on the agenda if they've never complied with the site plan in the first place. And in that regard, and I desire not to be argumentative, but I'm not sure why we would be under any particular time constraint when they didn't comply with what was approved the first time through the mill. That's my
Simple
point.
answer to that is they filed an application and they paid their fee. They have the right to have action taken on the matter, whether it's a motion to deny or approve. Motion to table is not an action that the court would accept as a final action on the matter. You have to take a final action on the matter within a reasonable time. That's just the general law, because they paid a fee. Now, if you want to deny it, some even have a code, and we'll go back and check. Some municipalities even have a code that you cannot approve it if they're in violation. But the clerk, if she called me up and she said, I think she did once, maybe not Kathy, but another clerk called me and said, do I have to put this on? Oh, I know what it was. They filed an application, they're in violation. I said, yeah, they file an application, but they're subject to criticism and subject to,
I understand that, but I think that, I understand what you're saying, but my purpose in basically doing that for an indefinite period of time at this point in time is give them an opportunity to respond. I mean, if they didn't get the message tonight, then I think we're doing something wrong.
And I interpreted it that way.
And I can,
we
and I
as
mean,
the staff would reach out to them and say, okay, you heard the comments, that's the way I
I mean,
interpreted
if we need to bring it back off the table at some point in time because they simply want to let the thing lie, I'll be happy to make that motion at some point in time. But at this point in time, I don't think it's unreasonable for us to expect them to come back. I mean, we sat through and spent how much time at this meeting tonight? I sitting here I don't have any idea or confidence whatsoever as to whether or not, how close to year after the fact they came to building what we approved or not. We don't have anybody here who can tell us, and that's frustrating.
question then, if they aren't denied in this table, do they have to reapply?
No,
Okay,
I mean, not if it's a reasonable time.
okay.
I mean, if they made, no, we have the chargeback to handle any additional cost that the staff would have to put in, to process. If they came in with a major change, we would spend the time to process it and write the reports and things like that. I mean, I will defer to Kathy. You wouldn't require an additional fee if they came back in the next 30 or 60 days or 90 days on a tabled matter.
If it was tabled uncertain, I would, because it could sit out there for, I don't know how long, just like the last one did. But if they tabled to a certain date, I normally do not charge.
We've got a first. Is there a second?
There wasn't a first, but now I need a
Supervisor Fisher
clarification.
made it first.
Which way are we doing it? Are we billing them for a table uncertain or not?
Well, I
Well, Kathy
believe
indicated-
Supervisor Fisher, you made a motion.
No,
he didn't.
nobody
miss
made
it?
a motion because he
No.
spoke up
My
because he wanted me to
apologies.
talk.
I just have
Okay.
motion, but no motion. No person
Okay.
had.
So
So-
that depends on the maker.
Whoever makes the motion.
You want to make a motion?
Well, what depends on?
Whether it's a date certain or uncertain, it depends on the maker.
No, right, but now I've got two different stories. One's telling me they're paying to be reapply and one's telling me they're not paying to be reapplied if it's tabled.
Mr. Chairman, on item G, I will make a motion to table this matter until the first meeting in February, whatever date that is. The clerk, if you've got a date certain, you can put it in there till February. And I so.
And a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to H, zoning code change. The town board is a petitioner. This is referencing our ordinance 13-2-15 sub H regarding sign illumination. The recommendation from the town board was for approval. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation of the planning commission to approve zoning code change.
And a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At this time, it would be appropriate for me to suspend my activities as chairman and wear a different hat.
All right, members of the board, we need to elect a temporary chairman. Chairman Merrick has stepped down so we can deal with item 6I. Would
Make a
anyone like
motion
to
to-
volunteer?
I would make a motion to nominate Supervisor Fisher to my left for temporary chairmanship.
I'll second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I will abstain, please. Okay, item I is a conceptual development review petitioner John Merrick, location Highway 164 south of Glendale, tax key WAKT 1404996 and WAKT 1429999. I believe all the four members of the board who were at the table at this point in time were present during the presentations and discussion both by the petitioner and by Planner Malarkey during the Plan Commission meeting. We'll certainly allow you to make your requests at this point in time. Is there a need to do over any parts of those presentations?
Not for me.
Not for me.
Okay, then anyone who would like to make a comment, again, I'm assuming the guidance that Attorney Macy gave us at the Plan Commission level stays here at the town board as well. And we're simply looking to consider what is necessary to make a complete presentation. You're asked not to offer any opinions about things, whether you favor or oppose the proposed rezoning of the development, but we need to give a clear direction to the petitioner as to what you indeed feel you need to see when this is addressed in the future in order to be able to consider it. So who would like to speak to that?
I'm pretty well set. Most of the questions I had were already brought up by the Plan Commission.
Thank you. Anybody else? Give you a minute if you're collecting thoughts.
What I'm going to want to hear at the public hearing is why this is a better use of the land for the town than the current planned use.
Okay. Anything else? Supervisor Adke, anything?
Good.
All right, we're all exhausted on that. Okay, then we will move on. We'll ask the same question we did the last time. Would you like to resume the position of the chair for adjournment purposes or not, Chairman
We gotta
Merrick?
do
No,
the
we've
things
got a
that go
full-
here.
Oh, we're going to do a couple more yet? I got the wrong agenda here. All right. Come back, please.
You're going to have some upset people here if you cut this short.
Continue on with item 7. Thank you.
On to item 7, minutes of December 28th, 17. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes of December 28th, 2017.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to new business. Discussion and possible action. A, request to petition the county to amend the land use plan to coincide with the town land use plan of 2009 for one or more of the following three properties: WAKT 13249er0003, WAKT 13249er0002, and WAKT 1324990, all located on Green Lane. Planner Malarkey.
This had to do with the comprehensive plan amendment for the petition that was previously denied by the Plan Commission Board. Therefore, we would not be going forward. The town would no longer petition the county for a comprehensive plan amendment. Pursuant to this particular property, I don't know, is it still something the town would entertain amending that without an application for rezone or development?
Counselor, I don't think we would.
Why not?
I don't think I understand the question, so could you?
So the reason this is on the agenda,
Oh, I know it's on the agenda. The county said they would prefer all three properties.
and my question
from the
is,
county.
because the town's comprehensive plan differs than the county's, the town plans it for commercial, and I'm assuming still does plan it for commercial at some point. The county's does not. Does the town at this point want to petition the county to change their comprehensive plan to commercial use to match the town's, irrespective of the denial of the application for the rezone that happened tonight?
And thank you for that clarification, because I also want to add, the town can also start a petition, not under this agenda item, to change this to residential in the town's comp plan.
Correct, because it is not,
Well, that would be pretty nifty since there's two operating businesses there. Maybe
Well,
three.
this land.
Oh, this
This
land.
property. Okay, let's put this in perspective. Sean does his report, very good report. He indicates to the gentleman, the county's advised that in order for this rezoning to be approved by the county, you got to amend the county plan. So he has to go in and petition, and he can do that regardless of what you do tonight. He can go in and petition the county by January 15th to amend this. The county may come back and ask you your opinion on that comp plan amendment, or they may not. That's up to the county. Because he was being advised to go in, and there was talk with the county, either by Sean or by him, the county then writes us an email saying that, if you're going to do it, I don't know that we would do it for one property. We'd want to have to try to do it for all three properties if we're going to do it. You all read the email, but I'm paraphrasing. And so that's why it's on the agenda. But that's not the only option. The option is one property, two properties, three properties, or revert this property on our plan to residential. Or nothing. Leave it as is. Did I say that the option's correct?
yeah, and I think you're right, because the agenda item doesn't mention which way it's going to go. It doesn't say commercial to residential, residential to commercial. It's wide open.
So then the question is
So it
there any,
does.
pardon?
But it does, doesn't it? It says to amend the county land use to coincide with the town.
Oh, you're right, it does.
It does say that.
That's why I said we'd have to put it on the next agenda. You'd advise the clerk to put it on the next agenda for the potentiality of you amending your plan. You could talk about it in conjunction with this issue. You just can't take the action to initiate the petition.
We could take action to initiate the petition as it's listed on the agenda item.
Yes.
Is there
One
anybody
or-
that,
Yeah, I'm going to make a motion to petition the county to amend their land use plan for the listed properties on Green Lane to coincide with the town land use plan.
is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion.
I mean, several of these properties have existing active functional businesses on them. Would seem to me to be the appropriate step to take.
I could get behind that for the ones that have existing businesses on them, which are I believe the latter two. The latter two tax key numbers, do I have that correct?
Excuse me, I don't know specifically which properties have businesses on them. I know the petitioner mentioned some of the ongoings of the neighboring properties, but I have not verified or confirmed any of that.
Well,
but they're zoned.
They're zone B3. So that's the
Yeah, they're
point.
zone
They're
B3.
already zone B3. So why shouldn't the plan also state them as B3?
That is
I'm
how
sorry,
they're zoned.
commercial.
They're zoned B- The first three properties on the north side of Green Lane, moving east to west from Merrill Hills Road, are zoned B3 in the town. Now, we can wonder if Mudjackers is really a business or not. And we can wonder if the Cupcake Lady is really a business or not, even though she came to this when we were discussing bypass issues and Green Lane issues that were surrounded with that, and talked about her business and the desire to have a semi come and go and deliver her stuff and all of that kind of stuff. But to me, those properties are businesses.
I wouldn't disagree with you
Okay.
on the first two, for sure.
But the third one is also zone B3. It is. There's question about whether there's a business being run there. I understand.
Like, we can't take questions from,
But
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just seems to me if this is an opportunity to have the county land use plan coincide with the town. we should do it.
Can we get clarification for sure on these? I mean, tie off these tax key numbers for sure to the properties and the ownership?
Sure.
So we're all sure we're talking about the same thing?
One is the Cupcake Lady, one is Kowalski, and one is Albert's.
Correct.
And they're all, Kowalski and the Cupcake Lady are both zoned B3. You guys spoke about Albert today. He's zoned R1. But in our comprehensive plan, they're all under, supposed to be going toward commercial use.
so to clarify, the comp plan lists them as
Commercial,
B3, but not.
Commercial.
commercial.
Zoning is B3.
Okay,
Different categories.
sorry.
We're only talking about the county comp plan. I think our comp plan has all of them as commercial and two of them business.
Did you want these
So-
tax key numbers? I can give them to you if you'd like them. Sure. So the first property moving from east to west on the north side of Green Lane is the church. Okay, that's listed P1.
Right.
You want that tax key number? Sure. Is WAKT 13249940002. Then the next piece moving to the east is,
East or west?
excuse me, to the west, thank you, is owned by Mark Stevens. Tax key is WAKT 13249940001. And that is zoned B3.
It's our Mudjacker.
No, there's a little slice before the Mudjackers.
Is that that little triangle that butts up to the church?
Right.
Okay.
Then the next one moving to the west is owned by Green Lane LLC. Tax key number WAKT 13249790001. It is zoned B3. The next property moving to the west is owned by John and Diane Wisniewski. WISNIESKI. Tax key WAKT 13249900003, and it is zone B3. The next one moving to the west is owned by James Kowalski. Tax key WAKT 13249900002, and it is zone B3. And the next property moving is owned by Clint Albert. Tax key WAKT 1324990. And it is zoned R1.
Wouldn't it be nice to have?
And to the north of all those properties
Look
is
at
Waukesha Storage.
See? We have a second, first and a second.
We do.
What are the two, or at least the names of the people, so the minutes are clear as to the motion here? The motion was made to do all three, right?
Yeah, these properties, so 4990003 is the Wisniewski property. 002 is the Kowalski property. And 4990 is the Clint Elber property.
And the motion was for all three.
Correct.
But the town petition to amend the county line use plan.
Planner Malarkey, I just have a quick question. Currently, the county land use plan for those three properties is for residential.
Correct,
Okay. Towns is for commercial.
correct.
Do we have any history on when either the county and or the town switched and became exclusive of each other?
I believe it was 2009.
Okay. And do we know who petitioned in 2009?
I think that was when the town updated their
Comprehensive.
comprehensive plan, and at that time, the town went to commercial. County obviously reviewed the town's plan at the time and decided not to go commercial for those properties and agreed to disagree in terms of the future of those properties, because the reason they gave was because there was residences on those properties used primarily as residences. They didn't think the time was right to plan for commercial uses on those properties at the time.
Thank you.
Even though they were already zoned B3. It's kind of the cart before the horse. Usually you need the comprehensive plan to say commercial before you can zone commercial. They're already zoned commercial, yet they didn't change the plan to commercial match.
Do we know if any of the property owners of those properties petitioned the town and or the county for a zoning change?
I do
Or was
not
it
know.
purely the town?
You mean for a zoning change to B3?
Yes.
I don't know when they were zoned to B3.
One quick question for Planner Malarkey. The property that is 132497001, which is owned by Green Lane LLC, is that zoned residential on the town's plan?
Planned for residential?
Right. Excuse me, let me rephrase. Is that on the county's land use plan as residential?
No, that's commercial.
It is.
That's where it ends.
Thank you. So that's why it's not on this list. Just wanted to make sure we weren't missing anything.
Right.
Any further discussion?
The only comment I guess that I would have is, as phrased, I won't support the motion for two reasons. I would perhaps support it if it was only for the Wisniewski and Kowalski properties, but I think the better thing in this instance would be to allow those property owners to at least speak their wishes to the town board before we were to act on it. I think that would be appropriate to hear from them. And at this point in time, consideration of the action that we took on the Albert property, I couldn't support including that in the petition, so I'll be voting no.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, just to clarify, so they're already zoned B3.
Yes.
2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 are zone B3.
And we're, by approving the motion, we're going to the county to say zone all 3 of them?
No, just the land use, the
So-
land use plan
So
only.
two out of 3 are zoned B3. All 3 are on the town land use plan as commercial. All 3 are on the county land use plan as residential. So that's kind of the synopsis. So 2 out of the 3 are zoned business. 1 is zoned residential, but all 3 are, whenever we put our land use plan together, the vision was to make them commercial.
So we would be asking the county to amend it to all 3 being commercial.
Right, not zoned, but just future development for commercial. To match our plan.
Sure. And yet we're not sure what the other 2 property owners' intentions are.
Well, they're living on a B3 property.
Well, the same as one's living on a residential and wants it to be a B3.
Right. And he's requesting that to be, I mean, if you're living on a B3, I gotta believe you either asked for it or bought it knowing it was a B3.
I would think you'd at least know it, sure. Don't know if you asked for it. I guess I'm still not clear why we would be asking for all 3 of these to be on it when 2 of them are already there.
No, they're not.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is they're zoned B3 by the town. It really doesn't, with those 2, it doesn't make any difference what the county's land use plan is. It's zoned B3 in the town.
For clarification, Supervisor Radke, the county's land use plan is commercial on a couple of the properties, residential on the others. They said, before we zone this one out here, we want you to bring these other 2 in with it to conform with the land use plan, not our zoning. Our zoning is, we're zoned B3 already, but their land use plan, their underlying land use plan is residential, and they want those 2 to work together. If
Right.
that helps.
Direction from the county was they didn't want to see just the Albert property come in by itself. They wanted a package deal with all the properties, with, if not support from the other property owners, then support by the town for all 3.
And we need the county's blessing for that?
No,
Okay.
no.
Then why do we care what?
I'm
There's-
taking the opportunity for being on the agenda
Okay,
to clean it up, that's all.
okay, I get it,
Sometimes it's good to have things clean.
sometimes.
All right, we've got a first and a second. All in favor?
I,
All right,
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. On to B, Budget Amendment 2018 R01. Madam Clerk.
For the, as we went through the budget getting ready for the end of the year, we noticed that in our 240, the budget was overspent, and we need to do a budget amendment. The funds are in the fire inspection fund, but they were not budgeted for. If you remember in 2017, this was our first year, we created the new fund for inspection and brought that out. We didn't carry the whole lump sum of the fund as part of the budget. This year in 2018, we made that change and we put the rest of it in. So this was something that was overlooked, and we can fix it by doing this budget amendment.
Thank you.
Question, what, and as a practical matter, it is what it is. As a practical matter, what happens if we don't approve this amendment after the fact? What's the consequence, if any?
We'll show, our audit will show that we're over budget in the fire inspection area.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve budget amendment 2018 R01.
In a second.
I'll second.
And discussion. And Madam Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Fisher?
Nay.
Supervisor Durr?
Aye.
Chairman Merrick?
Aye.
Supervisor Radke?
Aye.
And Supervisor Wolf?
Aye.
Motion carries. On to C, Peter Jankowiak, non-compliance property at West 230, South 6248 Charles Drive. Good evening.
I've had several discussions and meetings with Mike and Jerry, and I think we have a resolution set. The problem is we need to do some digging to extend the culvert. So I would ask for an extension to, I believe the next meeting in May is May 10th. So I'd ask for an extension to May 11th to give me some time to actually finish the project. We're going to be extending our culvert.
Sure. The next meeting, I'm sorry, next meeting.
In May is May 10th.
So Mr. Jankowiak and I and Jerry, I talked with him a number of times. We met out there. We put a plan in place that essentially is going to be to extend his existing culvert to a 33-foot culvert.
Yep.
And along with that, the concrete that was placed will be removed, right?
Yeah.
The problem is getting that all done, prior to as January, February, March, and April wear on. So we talked this afternoon or this morning, and I told him that he should come prepared with a request for the extension. And my suggestion was, because our May meeting is the 10th, when he expects to have this all wrapped up, that he asked for an extension to the 11th of May, so that in April, late March and April, he can get this all done. And then if there was a problem that kept them from being completed by May 10th, then he could come back and address it. That's where we're at.
I guess I have a question. The town is going to, he's doing the removal and the town is putting the culvert in, or what?
No, so where we're at right now is there's two concrete,
All right.
he placed two concrete small structures
Right.
in, and so what he wants to do is he wants to have a 33-foot culvert put in so that he can add to the width of his driveway. And the town does that. We do our own culvert work.
That's my question. So the
Yeah, so the
town is
town-
going to be putting the culverts in, and he's going to pay
And-
for
and-
it.
I have to
He'll
pay
pay
for
for
it.
it.
Yeah.
I understand that.
I
Okay, so
believe so.
part of the timing on that is going to be on our dime. The removal's on his, but
Right,
in terms of the timing is, if we're doing the work, is going to be our time.
right. And we expect to have that completed, in the
Yeah.
early springtime.
Okay,
And if not, then he would have to come to the May 10th
I
meeting.
understand.
for-
Okay, have we told him how much the town is going to charge for that?
I believe he got a rough quote that's
We-
in his
Yeah.
ballpark from the building.
Yeah, we have, I was given a rough estimate.
And how much is that, if you would not mind telling?
I need to work with, it's going to be in a high side of $1,600. If they can do just an extension of it, so extend the 22 feet, 11 feet. It was $500 for the materials, and then I have a breakdown of the labor and machinery costs. So there was costs for a backhoe, costs for a dump truck by the hour.
And that comes from our building inspector.
It actually came from Jerry. The building inspector had to go to Jerry for the estimate for the cost. Just to
Supervisor
clarify.
Drewer, quick question. To get into compliance, all he really needs to do is remove
That would
what's
be true,
there.
yes.
And then we could, even if the town didn't finish their portion by
That is true.
May 11th or
Yeah.
May 10th, he'd still be in compliance. Okay,
Right.
I just want to make sure. Okay, so is there a motion for an extension until May 11th, 2018?
I'll make that motion.
I'll
And-
second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries on.
So, just before we move on, so just to be clear, as the chairman said,
Mhm.
so as long as you have the concrete removed by May 10th,
Yes,
you wouldn't need to come back.
correct.
So if it's resolved, you don't need to come back, and even if the culvert work isn't done, you wouldn't
Yeah.
need to come back.
Yeah, so basically knock the walls down.
Right.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
very good.
thank you.
Thank you. On to D, sign request. Responsible party is Faith Baptist Church, David Teasdale. Location is W 271 South, 2470 Merrill Hills Road. Tax key is WAKT 1321989. Planner Malarkey.
So this was before the board in October 2017 and was denied due to the fact that it did have internal illumination. The property across the street is a ag property, but happens to be zoned R1. This sign complies with all other provisions of the zoning ordinance, except for the internal illumination provision. I have, in my not recommendation, but in my, the town board approval, if the town should choose to approve this, there are 6 conditions. One of the conditions happens to be that the approval would be conditional on the amendments to section 13215H1 of the Town Code of Ordinances being approved by the town board and the county. In your review of this, you should review them according to the factors that are listed in the ordinance amendment that was just approved. The distance between the proposed sign and the existing or potential future single-family duplex residential use, any screening, the size of the sign, and whether the adjacent properties are currently used for single-family or duplex residential. So again, it complies with everything except for that provision that has just been approved by the town board, but is not yet into effect until the county board also approves it.
Thank you. Just to clarify, I think it was tabled and not denied.
It's just table.
Tabled, not approved, but tabled. Gotcha.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion and then I would like to have some discussion. I will move to approve the request for the proposed sign for Waukesha Christian Academy. Is that also known as Faith Baptist Church?
It's owned by Faith Baptist Church, but it's the Waukesha Christian Academy.
Okay.
That's the operation.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second that.
Mr. Chairman, and I think, Planner Malarkey, we need to have some justification for doing this. I think the issues here are the distance. I think it's the size, it's the distance that it is set back. And I think the other issue here, if you look at what is proposed, I mean, this is kind of a reverse image thing, as I understand it. It's kind of a, deep blue. And I mean, if you look at that sign and you look at the amount of it that's actually going to be illuminated, if I see that correctly, I mean, I can't imagine that's 20% of the surface area of the sign. So I think this is a no-brainer. We should approve it.
Thank you. Anything further? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. On to 9, accounts payable.
Make a motion to approve the bills in the amount of $112,379.01.
And a second.
I'll second.
Question, Mr. Chairman? And a question to Clerk Treasurer Nicholas there. Is this all monies that's being spent out of 2017
No.
budgets, if you will? No?
No, There's 2018 bills that are being paid as well.
So it's some of both. You
Yes.
probably don't know how much of each.
I would say 90% of it is 2017's.
So most of 2008. Okay, thank you.
Could we just take about a 30-minute break before we vote on this?
No.
Roll call vote, Madam Clerk?
Chairman Merrick,
Aye.
Supervisor Durr,
Aye.
Supervisor Fisher,
Aye.
Supervisor Radke,
Aye.
Supervisor Wolf.
Aye. And lastly, motion carries. Lastly, a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.